promise the individual making this statement is probably unaware that the Big Bang Theory was actually conceived and formulated by a Catholic priest named Father George Lemaitre. Certainly, he did not consider his theory to be an affront to God. He understood, as do most serious intellectuals, that science does not and cannot tread on God's domain. Skeptics of the faith want to somehow, pit science and religion against each other because that dynamic fits their secular agenda. However, this is a great straw man argument. Look, science is really good at answering questions related to the physical world, hence the word physics, which is exactly the way God intended it. What science is not so good at is answering metaphysical questions of a supernatural order. Theology is the study of God and the nature of the divine. This field is simply out of the range and scope of the natural sciences. It reminds me of a couple of quotes. Albert Einstein once said, "The most dangerous man on earth is one that knows a little bit of science and a little bit of religion." And that's perfect, really, if you think about it. The other quote that's parallel, very similar to that, comes from Louis Pasteur, a famous scientist who discovered the process of pasteurization of milk. He said, "A little bit of science estranges man from God. Much science brings them back together." But as for answering the original statement, allow me to use a story, a parable, right? Say you and a friend are shopping for antiques, walking from shop to shop. You stumble across an old painting. The edges are a little stained, the backing is a bit warped. The painting itself is in remarkable shape, though. It's a breathtaking portrait of a 18th century clipper ship battling through a ferocious storm on the sea. The wind is swirling and large waves angrily crash against the side of the great boat. Sailors are scattered about the vessel, struggling to man the sails in a heroic attempt to save their ship. Now, your friend is an obsessed collector of nautical artwork. So, of course, he goes crazy when he sees this masterpiece hidden amongst the dusty relics of this antique store. He closely examines the painting, brushstroke by brushstroke. He inspects every square inch of it. But to his dismay, he can locate no signature. The artist didn't inscribe his or her name on their work. Your friend carries the painting to the front desk and asks the owner of the shop for more information. The shop owner admits that she doesn't know where the painting came from either, and that it's not a part of her inventory. So your friend and the shop owner come to the conclusion that because the painting has no signature and its origins are unknown, then the painting must have just come together on its own. Maybe by accident. It must have just congealed that way. Like all the elements needed to make the painting, like the wood backing, the fine stretched canvas, all the vibrant colors, the brush strokes, they must have just, slowly come together over time to form this masterpiece. Now, of course, you, as the only voice of reason, interject. You say, "Are you two nuts? Are you both out of your minds? Of course the painting has a painter. It didn't come together by itself." Your friend looks at you with great sincerity and says, "But how do you know? There's no signature, and there's no evidence of an original owner. So what proof do you have that the painting has an artist?" You, of course, quickly inform your friend that the only evidence needed for the existence of an artist is the painting itself. Because just good common sense tells you that it's near astronomically impossible that the painting just somehow morphed together on its own through some random process of nature. All right? It works much the same way with creation. Just because God didn't leave his signature on every tree and every other mountain doesn't mean that his finely tuned craftsmanship is now supposed to be some kind of cosmic coincidence. Come on. The only evidence you need of creation is creation itself. Stop overthinking it.